a set number of hand shapes. The other controller that I mentioned, Index, is a bit different in that it uses a different form of tracking, allowing much more freedom in how your hands move. However, it doesn't mean that it's impossible to sign up with other controllers. Our community here has lasted for a long time before Index arrived. Therefore, we
Hello, and welcome to our anthropology project where we delve into the fascinating world of learning sign language in virtual reality. We are Honey, Eric, Steph, Millie, and Aylin. In this video, we'll be exploring the social aspects and learning experience of using VR to learn sign language. We'll also be discussing some interesting topics, including the differences between learning sign language in real life versus in VR. So sit back, relax, and let's jump right into it. Our research question for this project is, to what extent are people more likely to engage in activities, such as learning sign language, in a VR setting compared to in real life? So let's first start with the clips we've gathered from a couple of different interviews. First off, if you're comfortable, tell me a bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is I go by Kat. And yeah, I live in the Netherlands.
I'm Jake. I just started learning sign language in VR about 5 days ago ish.
Yo, my name's Joseph, and I learn some sign language here, I guess.
Hello, my name's Rowan, 29 years old. I'm from the United States of America, New York.
Oh, sure. So, I'm Felix, and I'm really interested in virtual reality and sign language. I've been using VR for a while, and now I'm still learning sign language.
Can you talk a bit about your VR setup?
Yeah, I have Oculus Quest Pro.
Well, I just use the Oculus Quest 2. I'm charging it right now, but that's basically all I use. And I also have the Meta Quest app on my phone.
I play on like bad PC, but I use like the Quest VR.
I use an Meta Quest headset with Index controllers and Vive trackers.
Yeah, I have some equipment. So, basically, I use the VR headset and the controllers to interact with the virtual world, and I think it makes the experience much more immersive.
If you do have equipment, how expensive was it?
It went up in price a bit actually, but I bought mine on sale for like $100, so.
It was a bit pricey, but I still think it was worth it, for the enhanced learning experience.
I think it's something around like $400, even like a couple years after its release.
How did you get into VR?
I was bored. I wanted to make friends. On top of it, I have a friend in treatment who's actually deaf, and treatment as in like rehab. He was deaf, or partially. And so I kind of wanted to learn signs so that I could like talk to him more fluently.
Well, my girlfriend, she asked me like, can you please buy the Oculus and stuff? It's gonna be like really fun, and I did, and it's totally worth it.
My friend just invited me to play VR chat, and then I see like Godzilla, and it was like really big, like just big. And then I was like, wow, will look more cool like in VR.
So then I got the headset, and then I discovered friends on VR, and then one of those friends became deaf suddenly. And then I decided that, hey, I was getting really good at sign language, and then I became hard of hearing, and then I started using sign language IRL, and like in video calls and with other things. And so I decided I'm gonna get the index controllers because they do individual finger tracking. Yeah.
I'm always been interested in technology, and when I saw how VR was being used for the educational purpose, I was really curiously.
Why did you decide to learn sign language in VR?
The same story. My girlfriend, she asked me, "Do you want to learn sign language with me?" I said, "Yeah, sure. It seems interesting." So I just started.
About like 2 years ago, but I still learn like bad, but I use it in like real life, like life, like not online. Yeah.
Well, my ex, when I was living on the West Coast of the United States, had a Rift S, had an Oculus Dev Kit 1, and he upgraded to a Rift S, and then I got kind of into VR.
Obviously, I want to learn sign language, but the traditional classes were not very accessible to me. So I thought VR would be a great way to learn, in a more immersive and interactive environment.
Do you think VR is accessible to people who are trying to learn sign language?
I think it's getting there. It's not quite there yet, though. I think cost is probably a big factor. I know the Quest 2 is pretty accessible, but I think like dropping like the amount of money that you have to spend on even like a Quest 2 is still kind of steep for most people, I think.
Well, I guess it depends on the situation. Some people might not have access to the necessary equipment, while others might not be comfortable with the technology. It's usually happens. But I still think VR can be a great option for those who are interested in using it, like me.
Now I will say yes, but because Facebook, yeah, they very good with that.
Have you tried sign language classes in real life?
Yeah, I have, but I found them to be less engaging and interactive compared to learning the VR.
No, I haven't.
No, but I tried learning it by myself with like apps and Google and stuff.
No, because I'm not really learning for that, but I just learn for fun.
Because I felt like it would be unfair for him to have to go through it alone. And then, like, I started practicing on my own for a little while, and I didn't join on him for like a month. And then after a month, because he became deaf, and he had to learn sign language to communicate with other people, he had gained like a friendship with other people, like full deaf people in VR and over Discord video chats. And so then I just joined that group, and we're still friends now.
What is your preferred method of learning and why?
Well, in this, yeah, I really like learning in this map because yeah, it's really handy. It works really well. It just like in real life, it didn't work at all with me, but I've learned actually a lot of things already with this server, and only this.
For people that want to learn sign language, it's a good place to start out because it lets you know if you're actually interested in it. especially if you look at those websites right there. Those are good websites to use as resources. If someone were to actually want to learn sign language in the real world, I'd recommend doing what I did and getting help outside of VR. Like LifePrint, Dr. Bill Vickers is a fully deaf professor who teaches sign language in his spare time.
It's like you can like learn something, but until you apply it, for me anyway, it doesn't stick. So applying it tends to make the learning stay faster. I remember faster. I'm not sure which one is easiest for me. Certainly not formal and then not applying it. That's like the worst. That's the worst for me. Yeah, that's all it is.
Do you think there are limitations to learning sign language in VR?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, there are some limitations. Just like the lack of physical interaction and the reliance on technology. But overall, I think VR is a great tool for learning sign language.
Is there any social interaction within VR?
Yeah, there's some social interaction in VR. And I think it can be just as meaningful as in the real life. It's definitely a different experience, but I still think it can be worthwhile.
Yeah. Yesterday I was in the server again. I was like communicating with a lot of people, and there was I think 2 deaf people and 1 mute, and they were signing, and I was like kind of talking with them via chat and signing.
Yeah. There's a whole itinerary over there. If you look on the wall, they have meeting, or they have like classes every day, and then there's a Discord as well that you can join. I haven't joined that yet, but I know that they do hold formal classes as well, where they have like lessons that they teach.
Have you made any friends in VR when trying to learn sign language?
Oh, absolutely. I have a whole category of friends dedicated to sign language. And I think anyone that decides to learn sign language is automatically a cool person, because it takes a lot of effort and like conviction to actually stop what you're doing to commit to learning it. Because like it is a language. You need to immerse yourself. Like I didn't speak for about 4 or 5 months since after I started learning ASL. And I turned off voices in game for 5 months just to learn sign language, and it worked. Immersion learning, it like forces your brain to change. And it was after the 1.5 years, like almost the 2-year mark, that I actually started thinking in ASL, and that was like a oh my god, there's a kind of change that's like so enormous. Yeah, it's just like your way of thinking, your whole perception of reality changes.
Yep, quite a few. But then again, like it's only been 5 days, but I've already met like upwards of 25 people or something. Yeah,
Yeah, I have. I have met some really cool people in VR who are also learning the sign language, and we have formed a little community.
How often do you partake in these online classes?
Okay, so I try to participate in online classes once or twice a week, and offline classes whenever I can find them.
I think if you just like try to communicate with people, learn words and stuff, I think you will do good. But you need to practice like every day.
Probably like 6 times a week, probably a bit more, but yeah.
Have you ever recommended VR to someone you know? Also, why?
Yes. I mean, I use it all the time. I don't see why I wouldn't. That's like saying, oh wow, this thing is amazing. Don't don't use it. Don't use no. I have only had good experiences in VR. I mean, it's with people. It's like this. I don't need. This is barely a game. It's more like a social media place. Like, I don't do a lot of games in this game. I just have an avatar and I talk to people. It depends on how people use it. I was very academic in the way I used it, and people without that sense of structure to the way they learn things are going to have a difficult time if they pace themselves. I paced myself with the knowledge that if I didn't learn as fast as I possibly could, I would be left in the dust behind my friend.
Do you think this way of learning in VR will grow in popularity? Why or why not?
I hope so, but yes, I think so. But I think that relies a lot on the people who produce the VR headsets, because making the VR experience as similar to real life as possible would make more people adopt the VR experience just because of convenience. Like they added finger tracking. I think that's gonna, like, once that's more accessible to people, I think that would be super helpful. But I think there are some barriers that haven't been like overcome yet with it. And it's kind of up to like Meta or whoever else, HTC, to like reduce those barriers to entry and that type of thing for it to be adopted. But I do think so. Yeah, I think it's like honestly more convenient.
Yeah, oh Jesus, pardon me. Definitely. I think a lot of people are gonna know about this server and others too, and kind of let the community grow. Because learning can be really fun, and especially communicating with people and with your hands and stuff, that can also be really fun.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. As the technology are continuing to advance, I believe there will be more and more people will see the benefits of using VR for learning.
Do you know Italian?
Nope.
I was gonna say ciao, a domani, buonanotte. But I could just say, all right. Hi, my name's Rowan. Nice to meet you. Have a good night. Whoa.
Overall, this interview highlights the potential benefits and challenges of using VR as a tool for learning sign language. In addition to our interviews, we have conducted extensive research by delving into our anthropology class readings and scouring various digital sources for information.
For example, in the text, The Web, Digital Prostheses and Augmented Subjectivity by P.G. Ray and Whitney Erin Bosel talks about how technology has become an integral part of young people's lives, enabling unprecedented relationships through digital technologies. From different readings, we also discover that VR is a new technology that allows people to communicate and express themselves in a virtual world, with VR chat offering the possibility to embody new identities and explore online landscapes. VR technology enables people to learn and explore new things in a way that may be difficult or impossible in the offline world. For example, VR chat provides a way for people to learn sign language from the comfort of their own homes, without the need for face-to-face contact. While the offline and online worlds are considered to be separate, technology is beginning to bridge the gap by allowing people to learn skills in the virtual world that are applicable in the real world. VR Chat is a virtual community that enables people to learn and practice sign language, such as through the Helping Hands community, which offers basic classes taught by deaf members and fluent interpreters. While VR Chat does not provide fluency in an official sign language like ASL, it offers a way for different groups in society to build relationships and connect with each other in a way that may not have been possible before. Technology has the potential to make the world more welcoming to deaf and mute people, particularly with the advent of headsets that can track hand movements. VR may not be the best way to learn sign language, but it is a great way to introduce people to the language and raise awareness of it. Some members of the Helping Hands community have even gone on to sign up for real-world lessons after participating in the virtual community. The development of hand tracking technology in VR, such as with the Valve Index controllers and the Oculus Quest 2, has further enhanced the immersive experience of VR and enabled new possibilities for learning and expression.
In terms of social interaction, we have found that there is definitely a sense of community among people who use VR to learn sign language. There are various online groups and forums where people can connect with each other, share tips and resources, and practice their skills together. As for the future of VR learning, we definitely think it has the potential to become more and more mainstream in the coming years. As the technology becomes more accessible and affordable, more and more people will have the opportunity to explore the possibilities of VR for learning and education. We think word of mouth will continue to be a powerful way of spreading the idea of VR learning, but we also think that as more companies and organizations invest in VR technology, we will see more targeted advertising and marketing efforts as well.
Overall, we would say that our experience exploring sign language in VR has been incredibly positive. Learning sign language in VR is undoubtedly an innovative and exciting way of learning, and it has the potential to revolutionize the way we learn sign language. However, it's important to note that face-to-face learning will still remain popular and efficient for the most part. We encourage anyone interested in exploring this new way of learning to give it a try, but we also acknowledge the value of traditional methods and the importance of choosing the right approach based on individual needs and preferences. Thank you.